Hello, and welcome to the Living My Human Design podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Hoover, and I'm so excited that you're here. I have been on a self-healing journey since my early 20s, and when I discovered human design in January of 2021, I felt like I had finally found what I had spent the last 20 years searching for. I believe that if we live as our authentic selves, having forgiveness, compassion, love, and understanding in our hearts, that ripples out and positively impacts everyone we interact with. That is how we have the biggest positive impact on the world. My purpose is to be a beacon of light in the world, attracting those who have broken down, fallen apart, and are stuck under the weight of life, and help them rise up as their true authentic selves. By sharing my human design experiment through this podcast, I hope to encourage others to begin their own healing journey by experimenting with their own human design. Continue listening and join me on this life-changing experiment of self-discovery. Hello, welcome back. This month we are experimenting with our authority, and this is week 2 of our authority experiment. Last week we were focusing on how our body felt, like how we were feeling as we were going throughout our day. Like if somebody walked into the room, how did our energy change, or what did we notice? Doing body scans in the morning and maybe a couple times throughout the day, just checking in and connecting with our body's wisdom. How is that going for you guys? I'm really curious, so please let me know how your experiment is going on Instagram. I would love to connect with you. What have you been noticing? Like when you do the body scan, what have you been noticing? For me personally, I have been noticing that I've been carrying a lot of tension and tightness in my jaw. Like I don't think I'm grinding my teeth, and I'm definitely not clenching my jaw, but I'm definitely like my jaw feels set and just kind of tense. And I've been having a lot of sinus pressure. I don't really feel like I've been having a cold, but I've been having some sinus pressure. And what I've noticed since I've been tuning into my body, that if I walk in front of a window where the sun is shining, I can feel the temperature change on my skin. And it just kind of caught me by surprise one day, because as I start to bring awareness into my body, the more I notice without consciously focusing on it, if that makes sense. And how about moving your body? Did you move your body throughout the week? This is one aspect that I did not do so good on at all this week. I think I did yoga maybe 2 times in the morning. I kind of got out of my routine on that. So it's definitely something that I'm going to be focusing on this week. But if you have been moving your body, have you noticed any sort of connection, or have you noticed how moving your body maybe disconnects you from the mind a little bit? Let me know how it's going either in the comments here on the podcast, or catch me on Instagram or Facebook. I want to share a couple stories, significant stories that happened for me this week. First of all, we got this most adorable puppy the day after Thanksgiving. Well, not the day after Thanksgiving, but I think it was Thanksgiving weekend. His name is Louie, and he is a Chihuahua Poodle Shih Tzu mix. He's our little reflector puppy, and he has so much energy. And when we first got him, he was really terrified of the outside. All the sounds and stuff that were going on just startled him, and he was really unsure of the world outside. And we live full-time in our RV, and we have to take him and our other dog Bailey for walks to help them to go potty and Yeah, just so that they have a place that they can go to the bathroom. So we got him used to a leash really early. And then we decided to get fencing to put around our RV so that we could go outside with him in a fenced in area, in a protected area where he could get used to the sounds outside. Um, and he's crazy on the leash. And every once in a while, if you're not paying attention and he gets a little rambunctious, sometimes he'll take off running and he'll get to the end of his leash and he'll jerk it right out of your hand. And that happened to my husband one day a couple weeks ago. And Louis just took off running because my husband was trying to run after him to get the leash. And this just terrified Louis. And so he took off running all the way back to the RV and he stopped outside the gate waiting to get back into our little fenced in area. And so this week, I had let the dogs outside. I was going to, there was someone outside the RV that I was going to go talk to. And I opened the door and I let the dogs come out because there's a fenced in area right there. Well, Louis and Bailey both got out of the fence. And Louis started to run towards another dog that he saw, but then there was a person there and he's still a little afraid of strangers. So he started running kind of back towards the RV, but not to the fence. And my initial response was, kind of like that panic, like, oh no, I need to get him because we're not that far away from a really busy road. And I didn't want him to run off into the road. And so for a minute, there was like I had this panicked feeling a little bit. And then it dawned on me that when we react to him in that panicked manner, he takes off and runs harder. So I just kind of calmed my energy. I took a moment and I just took a breath and I calmed my energy and I crouched down and I called him over to me and he ran right up to me and I was able to pick him up and put him back into the fenced yard because he could sense that calm energy in me. So that ended up working out really well. And Bailey, she's a great listener. I just called her and she came running right over. So that was just because I've been focusing so much on this pause and I guess in the pause there's even a calmness in that it helped me to remember to pause before I tried to catch Louis who had gotten outside of the fence. Another another experience this week that is a result of following my authority is um, my husband and I both work full time from within the RV. And our RV it comes with a little desk area, which is where my husband sits. And we were using our dinette as another desk area. So there was always a computer set up there. And we were never using it for eating or for games or for anything aside from work. And we had talked about pulling the dinette out and putting in a desk when we were this summer, when we were over on the coast. And we didn't really come to a full decision, but it was just kind of something that was sitting there in our awareness. And my husband was thinking about building something into the slide area like an L shape. And I liked his idea, but there was just a lot of work that would be involved with building a desk and buying all the lumber and having all the tools and the space to actually do the work, which you don't really have right now. And we didn't have all summer. So we just kind of put a pin in it. And then this week, we were having a conversation, and the idea of taking out the dinette and putting a desk in came up again. And I was like, you know what? I really think it's time. I really think that it is a good idea for us to take the dinette out and put in a desk. But instead of you building it, there is an IKEA really close to us. Let's just go look and see what they have. And if we find the perfect desk there, then great. We'll pull out the dinette and we'll put it in. So we dropped the dogs off at my sister-in-law's house and we went and we spent like 2 hours walking through IKEA. And if you've never been to an IKEA, it's just the most wonderful store ever. They have all of the decorating and furniture, like small space furniture. It's easy to, you have to build it yourself, but it's really simple. It's affordable and it's quality. I believe it's built in Sweden, or maybe it's Switzerland. I think it's Sweden. But anyway, it's just a fun store. They have arrows that direct you where to go, and they have all of the rooms all set up, displaying the possibilities of what you could do with all of their stuff, and it's really fun. But I digress. Anyways, we did find the perfect desk to fit within our space, along with some drawers for added storage. And so we picked them up that day and we brought them home. And this was on a Friday. On Saturday, my husband pulled out the dinette and the chairs, and we set up our space. And I was a little worried about how we were going to get rid of the dinette and the chairs. And so what I did is I took pictures of them. And then in the RV park that we're staying at right now, they have a Facebook group. And I put a post on the Facebook group of the dinette and the chairs, and that it was free of charge. I showed it what it looked like when it was all set up in our RV, and how it's legless, so you have to attach it to the wall. And I posted it in the group, and within 5 minutes, someone had messaged me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we bought a bus that didn't have a dinette in it, and we've been looking for a dinette for forever. And this is absolutely perfect. It will fit perfect in our space." And so within 15 minutes of me putting it out, someone had claimed it, and it was just easy and effortless because it was an aligned decision. Everything just kind of flowed. There was work involved, but there was no resistance. And it was super easy to to even get rid of the old dinette. So that's just kind of an example of how, when we're following our strategy and our authority and the little alignment clues in our human design, it just leads to um, flow and eliminates resistance. Yeah. So this week, what we're going to focus on with our authority is, first of all, I want you to think about, what decision-making patterns do you need to let go of? So you know what your authority is. You've kind of been experimenting with connecting with your body. Now, what do you need to let go of? Like for me, I need to let go of making in the moment decisions, fast in the moment decisions. I need to kind of slow down, take a breath, and pause. Even if it's like, "Hey, do you want to come to dinner with us on Tuesday?" Or do you want to go tour these caves with us? Like my initial reaction might be, "Heck yeah," but I still want to take those few minutes, especially if it isn't something that's kind of been in my awareness that I've been riding through my wave in the background. I need to slow down and just take a couple minutes. So maybe if you're a sacral authority, something that you might need to let go of is second guessing your gut. Like when you get that initial gut hit and the mind pops in and says, "Are you sure about that?" Maybe try making some smaller decisions by just following that gut response. So, what decision-making patterns do you need to let go of? And then I want you to focus on um, like journaling at the end of each day. And what I like to do is, I have two questions for you. And what I like to do is I'll write these questions down on a post-it note. And then each each day, like I'll write, do my journaling at the end of the day. And then I'll take that post-it note and I'll move it to the next day so that I know what questions I need to be um, asking myself and focusing on throughout the week. So this week, I want you to ask yourself, how did my authority show up today? And then how did my authority communicate with me today? So how did it feel in my body today? And those are your two questions. I will be posting my experiences on Instagram throughout this week, and I look forward to hearing from you. Share with me how your experiment is going. All right, and I will catch you next week. Thank you for listening all the way to the end of the podcast. If you like what you've heard here today, please take a moment to leave a review. Don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified when the next episode is released. If you have any questions, please connect with me on social media. The links are down below in the show notes. Don't forget you can get your free human design chart at my website, livingmyhumandesign.com. And if you'd like to have me unpack your chart with you, you can also schedule an unpack at my website, and there are 3 options to choose from. That website address again is livingmyhumandesign.com. If you'd like to learn more about human design at your own pace, I highly recommend joining Emma Dunwoody's HDX membership. There are video modules on all parts of human design and tons of bonus materials. This membership also comes with a private Facebook community where you can ask questions and get additional support. I'm one of the guides in this community as well. The links to all of this information are down below in the show notes. Thank you again for listening. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll talk with you soon.